As something different for this guide, I'm getting one of my good friends, Spacedruid, to illustrate the healing point of view. So, go for it.
Thanks, DoubleDragon. Well, this is a 3-boss council fight, so your team will be taking down one boss at a time, with it getting progressively more difficult as you go. Now, DoubleDragon's asked me to illustrate it in 3 phases, because it is essentially a 3-phase fight. There is no point doing this fight on easy mode. Doing it in the correct elite order is just as easy as doing it on the easy mode, so yeah, all I can say is don't bother looking at it. You can 2 or 3 heal this. If you 2 heal it, make sure that you keep all of your big raid cooldowns for the last phase, unless somebody is an idiot and does a lot of damage to something or somebody, and etc, etc. It also is good if you have DPS who have healing cooldowns, so they can throw out, whether that's the healing tide from chamois, etc, etc, druids, boomkins, etc, that have trank. That will just help out with the raid damage in the last phase, but I'll get to that in a moment. In phase 1, everybody wants to be spread out, so all the ranged and the healers spread out. You don't want to be within 7 yards of each other, or you'll spread a damaging debuff called Lightning Prison. When someone is hit by Lightning Prison, they will not be able to do anything until it is dispelled, and while they do have it on them, they will also deal just a localized AoE damage within that 7 yards. So what you want to do is dispel it immediately. If you're 2 healing it and one of the other healers does get it on them, dispel them first, so that way they can dispel the second person who's got it. Throughout phase 1, people will be getting hit by a undispellable debuff, which is called the Touch of Shah. Just heal through that. There is nothing that you can do about it. By the time phase 3 comes around, everybody will have the Touch of Shah debuff on them anyway. Once Elder Regale is dead, you'll need to start moving out of big black void zones. Ideally, because you are ranged, you'll be spread out. These void zones only spawn under the boss, so it's more of an issue if you are a pally or something like that and you're going in there to regen some of your mana. Just be aware of those and don't stand in them. You'll also notice that an orb spawns during this phase, which has a health bar. When it dies, it gives a buff to any player that is standing within about a 15-yard range of it, which is a 25% spellcasting speed increase. That does only last for like 20 seconds or something like that. As a healer, you know, it's not that great. It is for obviously your DPS, but as a healer, up to you. I never really bothered with it. Phase 3 is when it's going to be really healing intensive. It's pretty much the same as the last phase, except everyone will have that debuff on them by this point, so everyone will be taking dot damage. You'll want to stack in the middle with all of the ranged. Your melee and tanks will be running around the outside in a circle, dropping the big corrupted zone as well as the void zones. You want to make sure that everyone's stacked up reasonably tight for the healing AoE. You don't have Lightning Prison in this phase, so there is no issue with that. You can just stack up and it's all good. You'll want to start cycling through your healing cooldowns. This is also the phase where Lust will come out, so don't use your healing cooldowns until Lust is finished, because obviously the speed increase, the haste buff, means that you'll be able to get a lot more healing out a lot easier. As a druid, I would pretty much pop Trank at this phase shortly after Lust has finished. Once that has passed, then I would jump into my tree form, get as many life bloom stacks on people as I can, get the instant regrowths out as well as the wild growths. I tried to, as much as possible, have the swift mends going out along as well, and then my just, the AoE healing directly underneath the ranged. The key thing is definitely to stack as a group for the ranged. Work out what kind of a cooldown rotation you're going to have, as well as your off-spec people, your healing tides, etc. But otherwise, honestly, this fight is not difficult at all. So, in essence, Phase 1, dispel the lightning prison, spread out 7 yards. Phase 2, move out of Void Zone, stand next to Dying Orb, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to, it's not a major thing. Void Zones only spawn under the boss, so again, not a major thing. Phase 3, survive, pop your own personal cooldowns and damage reduction stuff, and just cycle your cooldowns and get through it. And that is pretty much it. So, back to you, Jack.
Thank you, Space. For everyone that wants to know, Spacedruid is on the server Dathramar, so you can feel free to send him an in-game mail thanking him for recording the audio for that, because he's the best that there is. Click the annotation you see on screen for the other boss guide playlists. If you click that shiny subscribe button, then all future guides will come right to you. Like on Facebook for heads up on all my upcoming projects. Leave comments about alternative strats. Like if you liked the video, dislike it if you disliked it. That is what it is there for. Go for it.